Alright everyone, welcome to the first cast brought to you by Rakgoska. For anybody who's interested in following me, you can look up my Twitter at Rakgoska SC2. I also look at beginning streaming live at justin.tv/Rakgoska. As soon as I get my work schedule a little bit better figured out, we start streaming probably once a week to start off with, and if time allows I'll get more streams uploaded more. Just follow my Twitter to get more information on that. This 1v1 match is a match between myself, I'm rank 13 gold currently, and my opponent Wolfgang, who's spawning in the 7 o'clock position. The map that we're going to be playing on is Backwater Gulch. An interesting thing to note about this map is I don't believe that players can spawn in the vertical positions like this. So I think it is a cross positions map. We're currently cross positions right now. You can see me, I'm getting my standard opening, the supply depot on 10. Collecting SCVs and harvesters, and we've got a pretty early scout going by Wolfgang. He's checking the south position first. Nope, not there, try again. And throwing down my barracks on 12. Meanwhile, looks like he's getting his gateway up, and everybody's just getting started with their builds. Pretty standard so far, using his chrono boost on his economy. It's currently 12 SCVs to 13 probes. Looking into the base, getting a refinery up on 13. My mindset going into this game was doing just a standard Marine Marauder medevac opening. I've been looking to work on basically building up my mechanics for my gameplay, just so I can get a little bit better, and we have an assimilator going up for Wolfgang. Meanwhile, just working on my mechanics, getting better at building units, making sure I'm training SCVs, making sure my units aren't idle. And it looks like we've got a gas steal here going up by Wolfgang. It's a very ingenious kind of way to slow down your opponent's teching by stealing their gas. Not something really easy for Terran to do because our SCVs take a while to build those buildings. But for Protoss and Zerg, they can just throw those buildings up, and that will limit any kind of tech that I'm going. Lucky for me, my Marine Marauder build, I only really need just the one gas to start off with. And as you can see, I slowly have an SCV working on that assimilator. By the time that SCV actually gets that assimilator down, I should have... Then I'll need that second gas. Second barracks going up for me. Meanwhile, he's researching the warp gate technology and saving up a lot of chrono boost. When you scout your opponent's base and you see this chrono boost build up like this, it could be an indication that he's going for some kind of tech play. But then my scouting SCV, I can see that he's using his chrono boost on his warp gate, so I'm not really too worried about any kind of cheese play or harassment play. Now, some other things to note about this map is there's the center area. There's two paths to travel to your enemy. One is through this north channel here, and the other is through the south channel here. Both pathways are guarded by the watchtowers, which actually give you pretty good vision of the entire channel, so you can know what kind of troop movements are moving out. Meanwhile, up in my base, I'm researching the concussive shell research, which allows my marauders to slow down his. And in his base, he's still getting the warp gate research. He's still only on the one gas, and he's chrono boosting out that warp gate research. Getting another zealot, as well as building 2 more gateways and now a robotics bay. Meanwhile, in my base, I'm building up a third and fourth barracks, really just to pump out those infantry units. And I am currently supply blocked right now at 27/27, and I'm no longer making SCVs, which kind of slows me down just a little bit. And then these production buildings won't be able to build any more units, so it's kind of a blunder on my part. I'll have to work on that. Meanwhile, I've got a small army moving out, 2 Marines and a Marauder. They do have the concussive shell, so let's see if we can poke up this ramp and see how much damage we can do. Meanwhile, he's got another Stalker and Zealot coming out, so I probably won't be able to do too much damage. Yeah, it looks like I'm maybe just going to be able to pick off this Zealot before my units die off. You know, just kind of want to poke up the ramp, see what he's got going on. His warp gate research did finish. He's currently on 3 gateways plus a robotics facility. Warping in 3 more stalkers down here for his base. Up in my base, I'm continually building just Marines, Marauders. I got 3 tech labs and a reactor add-on. Still making those SCVs, I hope. Come on, make an SCV. You can do it. Alright, as you can see, I'm still working on my mechanics. I still have some blunders in my play. Make sure I gotta keep doing that tapping. Income-wise, I am still slightly ahead of my opponent in minerals, and then just a little bit behind in gas. He does have both gas geysers, whereas I'm still working off just the one. And as you can see, my SCV is slowly working on that. Looks like we got a small force moving out here from Wolfgang. He's got about 5 stalkers here. He's gonna poke up, do a little scouting, see what he can see. If you can see here, my army is set up in this small, narrow choke point, which is a really bad idea. If you were to push up the ramp, you could do a lot of damage to these front units, and these back units won't be able to get any shots in. So that'll be something to keep in mind for my next game. I did finally get that reactor down, setting up a refinery of my own. And these production facilities, there they go, they're starting to produce some units again. Training up some Marines and a Marauder, as well as getting the stim pack research and the combat shield. Generally I like to start the stim pack a lot earlier, as it does take a while to get that research produced, but the concussive shell opening is just so good against Protoss. It allows you to take down most of their zealots without too much interference. As you can see, we've got an expansion going up for a Protoss player. It's a relatively late timing on that expansion, and as you can see, I'm building an expansion of my own. Still training up more troops, and this initial force going out, I've got 6 Marauders and 9 Marines, and we're going to poke in here and see if we can do some damage. He's got 9 Stalkers, a Zealot, and 3 Sentries. A little bit of a blunder in that engagement by not having my troops attack right away. One thing that this game allows is if you have vision of the low ground, you can't actually shoot up onto the high ground until you get about halfway up the ramp. But as you can see with stim pack, Marines and Marauders just do so much damage. Taking out that Immortal. Immortals have a hardened shell ability. It reduces the incoming damage they take if it's greater than 10 to 10. And as you can see, after that engagement, he's down to 2 Stalkers, and my force was pretty much wiped out. Warping in 3 more Stalkers, he's up to 5 Stalker count now. I'm moving out with another small force. I've got 4 Marauders and 6 Marines this time. I'm going to poke up here to see if I can do some more damage. Meanwhile, he's doing a probe transfer, 8 probes. It's a good idea to do a probe transfer once your expansion gets established, so you mine more evenly and efficiently. And with stim pack, these bio units just do so much extra damage to Protoss units. I'm going to poke up the ramp here. I see 3 Zealots and 2 Stalkers. Kiting back these Zealots a little bit so I can get as much damage in as possible before they actually get to my units. Focusing down these last couple units and start rallying my troops to his base. Alright, taking down that last Zealot, warping in 3 more Stalkers. He's got another Immortal popping out. Target firing down the Immortal. Targeting down those last few Stalkers. And we should be seeing a GG from this player in a minute. He does have this expansion up, which is kind of helping him out economy-wise, but with this many troops in his base, it's going to be hard to recover from. Pulling his probes off the line to see if he can kind of repel this force, warping in 3 more Stalkers. But this force, I think, is just too great for him. Cleaning up the last bit of Stalkers here. And then I'll go back down under his production facilities. These warp gates, as you can see, there's a 13-second cooldown on them yet. And looks like Wolfgang leaves the game. Thank you for tuning in to this first YouTube video by Rakgoska. I hope to be getting more up soon. Please post in the comment section. I know I'm a little rusty, as it is my first commentary video, but look for more to come, and hopefully I'll get better over time. Thank you very much, and have a good night.